Hey guys, Prowl1701 here, and today we're going to talk about Big Finish. And my question is, who is your favorite doctor in Big Finish? So going off their Big Finish stories, even, TV show doctors, going off their Big Finish stories, which one is your favorite and why? Now, most of you know that Tom Baker is my favorite doctor. I love the Fourth Doctor. But he probably wouldn't be my favorite Big Finish Doctor, just because I haven't listened to a lot of the Fourth Doctor audios. An example would be, I think the only audio I've heard with the Fourth Doctor is the Out of Time Part 1 with him and the 10th Doctor, which is very good, by the way. I would love to hear the other two Out of Time stories with the 5th Doctor and the 6th Doctor. I'd love to hear those, because I loved the first one. It was really good. I feel like the 4th Doctor and the 10th Doctor click really well together, actually. But since I haven't listened to any of the other Fourth Doctor's audios, I really need to do that before I could call him my favorite. I do want to hear the original version of Revenge of the Cybermen, Return of the Cybermen, and probably the original version of Genesis. I do want to listen to those sometime, and then some of his original adventures. But I have been listening to some of the others. Again, I haven't really listened to much of the modern Doctors in Big Finish. Mainly, I've listened to 5, 6, and 7. Although, I think the only one with the 5th Doctor I've listened to is Spare Parts. And I did not care for Spare Parts at all. So I definitely couldn't say 5. Although, I love the fact that they are doing stories with 5 and Nyssa, showing that there is a period where they travel alone between Time Flight and Arc of Infinity. That's pretty cool. Now, I think of the main ones I've listened to, and I've listened to a little bit of the War Doctor, his first story. I have listened to, I think, the War Doctor's first story. Although I might have listened to a couple, actually. I forget. I've only listened to a little War Doctor stuff. I've liked the War Doctor stuff I've listened to, though. I have liked that a lot. Yeah, The Innocent. I listened to The Innocent like that. I had to remember. I think my favorite so far, having mostly listened to 6, 7, and 8, and I've liked some of all 3, but I would say probably the 6th Doctor, I would probably say is my favorite, because I think he has like a 100% hit rate with me, where all of the stories of his I've listened to have been some level of good. Maybe not masterpiece, but good. Because Jubilee is really good. The Last Adventure, those stories are pretty good. Especially like the first part, End of the Line, is really good. The Red House was pretty good. Like, of the 4 stories that make up The Last Adventure, they kind of progressively get less good. They're all good, but like, I tend to like them if I was ranking them. The 4th story, the 3rd story, the 2nd story, the 1st story. End of the Line, the 1st story is my favorite. It's really, really neat, and I love a lot of the ideas and concepts behind it. Red House was pretty good. The 3rd part was all right, and then the 4th part, which of course leads into the Time on the Run, it was also all right. It was good. I've listened to The Wrong Doctors, and that one was really enjoyable. I did enjoy that a lot. I listened to Slipback, even though that's technically not Big Finish. I know that's an audio from back in the day, but I did like Slipback a lot as well. So I guess the video is also not just Big Finish, but doctors you like in audio in general. And I feel like I'm forgetting 1 or 2. I've listened to Real Time. I've actually watched the Flash animation for Real Time. I can't remember if Big Finish did Real Time or not, actually, with the Cybermen, and that one was enjoyable. I liked it as well. So basically all of the 6th Doctor stuff I've listened to, I've liked. So he has like a 100% hit rate for me, I believe. I can't think of anything I've heard from him that I just didn't care for. Not all of them, again, were mind-blowing S-tier stories, but there's none of them that I was just disappointed with or that I thought was bad. Whereas the other Doctors, that has happened. With the 7th Doctor, I like some of his stuff. Like the Klein trilogy is a bit of a mixed bag. I love the actual story. Klein's story is really good, and then the Architects of History are really good. Those 2 are phenomenal. Whereas the first 2 parts, 1,000 Tiny Wings, and I forget what part 2 is called, are okay. They're okay. They're not bad. But I'm not chomping at the bit to listen to them again like I am Klein's story and the Architects of History, which are just fantastic. Unit Dominion, which is actually down here, really didn't blow me away. To be honest, the main thing that sells it for me is Alex McQueen's performance. I'm guessing this was his first performance as the Master, as he's masquerading as the Doctor most of it. I really like his performance. McCoy is fine, and he's not blowing me away like he does in some of his stories. And, of course, this is what introduced me to Klein, this version of Klein, who is cool, but not quite as interesting as the original version of Klein, the one that we get in Klein's story. But I did like that it got me into Klein's story. Or the Klein trilogy. And then Colts is also really good. I loved Colts. Klein's actual first story is very, very good. I feel like I'm missing a McCoy somewhere that didn't really interest me. Like I said, I feel like I'm forgetting something maybe from McCoy I've listened to. Death Comes to Time. It's out there. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's out there. It's interesting. It's definitely interesting. And then the Eighth Doctor has been mostly his. Really just the Stones of Venice being kind of rough with it. Chimes of Midnight is really good. His version of Shada is really good, interesting. I liked Storm Warning. I got it right that time. Storm Warning. And then I absolutely loved Sword of Orion. So most of the Eighth Doctor stuff I've listened to, I've enjoyed. I just didn't like Stones of Venice. That one kind of stopped me dead in my tracks. So I would say, while I like all three in audios, my favorite would probably be Colin Baker. And just, I like the Sixth Doctor. I feel like Colin has just grown into the role really well. He knows what he's doing with the Sixth Doctor now, and he's allowed, I think, to do what he wants to do with the Sixth Doctor more now. And the Sixth Doctor, I think, is more likable. It's like he still has his arrogant traits, but they're molded in a way that works better for the character while drawing out other good qualities about the character. So the Sixth Doctor still feels like the Sixth Doctor. He just feels like a better written version of the Sixth Doctor, and Colin knows exactly what he's doing with the character. So it's not just, I think, the quality of stories that I'm getting with the Sixth Doctor are always some level of good, but the fact of what I'm getting for the Sixth Doctor specifically is very good, and I'm very much liking what's being done with it. So I would probably say, in audio form, so far, it would be the Sixth Doctor for me at the moment. So I want to know what you think. Who is your favorite audio Doctor, your favorite Big Finish Doctor thus far, going, again, just off their audio stuff? Comment down below, and let's talk about it. Don't forget to click the like button and the subscribe button as well. I also have a Patreon if you would like to help me, help support me on that. That does help me keep the bills paid, because, whew, the bills. Much like Edmund Blackadder, sometimes I feel like a pelican. No matter which way I turn, I have an enormous bill in front of me. I can definitely identify with that statement. I want to give a shout out to Colin Coney and Sam Venning, two of my top tier patrons. I appreciate their support, as they do the support of all of my patrons and my YouTube members. It's very much appreciated. I also have a P.O. box if you would like to send me anything to look at and review. That's down there. A link to my Amazon wish list is down there. A link to my Amazon UK wish list is also down there. Would love to get some more of these standard sets. Simon's been really good about sending those, and I'm very grateful to Simon for that. Most importantly, thank you for watching.